welcome to another edition of the Sports Guys. We have a really special one for you tonight. This was a brainchild of Robert Pope, my co-host, and he thought to himself and talked to me about it, and I agreed, for us to truly be a sports podcast that will serve everybody and serve every market. We do a lot of football, and it's because we love football, and it's what everyone in America really likes, but we want to be able to do all sports. And so tonight, we're going to dive into the unusual world of sports all around the world. And we're going to be bringing to you 20 sports that you probably have never heard of, or if you've heard of them, maybe one or two. But most of these are really unusual, and we're calling it strange but cool. We're going to give you a little preview of all these 20 sports. How you doing, Robbie?
Oh, doing great. This was a little genesis of one of our morning drives, talking to each other on the phone on the way to work. We just started bouncing around sports that we had come across that were interesting. We said we should throw some together that we've seen and make an episode because it was really fun kind of checking these out. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
I thought we would have a hard time coming up with a number of them, and I think I've now written down about 60 that I would add to this list, and we can't do 60 in one episode. So
yeah,
this is likely going to be a part one, and we're going to have a part two. So all of you guys watching tonight, watch very carefully. And if there's a sport we didn't cover, drop it in the comments down below and tell us something that we need to put on part two.
Yeah, feel free to contribute ideas. I was talking to my dad a little while ago about it, told him about the episode, and he said he had one on the tip of his tongue he was thinking about that he couldn't quite remember what it was. But I'd love for some comments out there. Check out some strange sports that are pretty neat, that are different, that put it in the comments.
Yeah, we already have a list going for part two, but definitely send us a couple and we'll add them and we'll analyze them in our second episode. But for our first episode tonight, you can see in our backgrounds, I've got a bunch of the ones we're going to talk about tonight behind me, and Rob has a very unusual one behind him, which is wife carrying. It's an actual sport. So we're going to get into these 21 amazing sports, 20 crazy sports tonight, and we'll see what you guys think. So let's go take a look. All right, this is our episode 34 for the Sports Guys, strange but cool sports from around the world. And we use the cool term loosely. We're going to let you guys decide if they're cool or not, but they are strange. And what we want you to do every time we look at a sport tonight, think to yourself in the back of your mind, would you try this? Would this be something you would actually try in the real world? So tell us, Rob, about this picture we got in the middle here. This is a girl from NC State University. You've got a little background on her.
Yep. So her name is Abby Lampe, and she was a graduate from NC State University. She did industrial and systems engineering. She graduated in 2022. She was an exchange student, I believe it was, in Spain, and she went to England to, I guess, visit friends or just travel, and she ended up entering this competition, and she won. And it's cheese wheel racing, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But she ended up winning, and then she ended up going back and winning again, and she's the first American ever to win back-to-back championships. So she's a world champion cheese rolling champion.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the fact that she was over there as an exchange student in 2022, goes to this thing probably just on a dare, ends up winning it, becoming the world champion cheese roller, which is a British event. Wins it in 2022, and then comes back 2 years later to defend her title and wins it again. Really astounding that this engineering student from NC State is somehow good at cheese rolling.
And I work on NC State campus, and this was actually kind of a big deal on campus. People were very aware of her. She's been interviewed from everything, probably Good Morning America and WRAL and NC State and all over the place. And she did say that people recognize her. So it's kind of funny.
And by the way, we're going to show you a short video of every sport tonight. And we made this one the last event because it's pretty cool to watch not only the event itself, but you get to see an interview of her. And she talks a little bit about this event that she's won twice. So
it's a very interesting event, that's for sure.
Anyway, this is our part one. And again, everyone be thinking about sports you want to be in our part two in the future. So here we go. So our first event is Unicycle Hockey. Unicycle Hockey is a team sport similar to rink hockey, where players try to hit the ball with their sticks into the other team's goal, just like regular hockey. Except each player must be mounted on a unicycle to play the ball. A team is composed of 5 players plus substitutes, and there's no dedicated goalkeeper, although one usually stays back in that position. The governing body for unicycle hockey is the International Unicycling Federation, which publishes rules for all unicycle sports. And we put in hockey for this one, but there's also unicycle basketball, unicycle soccer. There's all these different unicycle sports. If the player falls off the unicycle during competition, they have to move over to the edge of the court with their unicycle, and they have to remount it before they can engage the ball again. What are your thoughts about this crazy sport?
Yeah. I mean, when I was kind of researching this, it looks fun. You know, it looks kind of fun. It's definitely different than hockey. I don't think you're going to see them dropping the gloves and going at it. It looks very cordial, like a very leisurely type thing. It doesn't look super serious.
And you can't really hit anybody else, right? It's not like hockey where it's very physical.
Right.
You don't get yourself
You
hurt too. So.
Well, I saw a bunch of times where they would bump each other and they'd both fall off and they'd have to take their unicycle to the edge to get back on. But there's not a lot of like slap shots. It's very much just a strategic working the ball towards the goal type thing. Even the goalie's not really that well padded or anything like that. Like the ball, I think, is a soft ball, and in all the videos I saw, the goalie wore a different colored shirt, so it's kind of like a designated goalie. So I'm not sure. I guess for the rules, you don't have to designate one, but I think all the serious teams do designate a goalie.
Yeah, there's no dedicated goalie, but people do it anyway, essentially. So
how long till this is in the Olympics?
We'll see. I mean, I guess a lot of these crazy sports we're going to talk about tonight, these people sit around probably when they're kids or teenagers, right? And they think of these crazy sports and they take 2 or 3 different sports and combine them into one, and it becomes a sport, right? I mean, that's how most of these come to be, I think. Let's get on a unicycle. Oh, let's play hockey while we're on the unicycle, you know?
I think what happens is these are happening in little towns where they don't have much to work with. And it's just a couple of friends end up thinking of something, and the next thing you know, these take off in these little towns, all these weird little cool sports that are a mixture of other sports and other things, and they just using what they got, you know?
So like every sport tonight, we're going to ask everyone who's watching, would you try this? Robbie, would you try this?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how I do on a unicycle. That would be a first for me to be on a unicycle, but I think it would be fun to move the hockey ball up the court would be really fun.
It would take tremendous skill and dexterity, I think, to be able to concentrate on staying on the unicycle plus getting the ball to the other end of the court.
It is kind of incredible. They seem like they're so skilled riding the unicycle that it's almost an afterthought. They're really concentrating on the play, like moving the ball around and stuff. So
you think it's just muscle memory? They're just on the unicycle so much, I guess.
They're just so good at the balancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
That's wild. Yeah, I would definitely try it. I would not be good at it. And I don't usually downplay myself, but this probably would not be something I'd be good at, but I would definitely try it. So let's go take a look at it.
Let's do it. Oh, there you go.
Con Lloyd.
That's some intense D.
So what do you think of that sport? I mean, I would just want to hit somebody. I don't know. I'd be so tempted,
Yeah.
and that's not really the strategy, right?
I think when you're heading back on defense and they have a good player moving the ball up, you're tempted to just wipe yourself out into him and take him out.
I think what I
It
love
looks like
about
it.
ice hockey, what I love about
it
ice hockey and even rollerblade hockey, they play rollerblade hockey too, is that they're both really fast sports, and I think that's what makes it
yeah,
exciting. This one is so slow. I don't
it's
know. I don't.
slow, but the ball can move pretty quickly. But I will say, I think
Yeah.
it's kind of a fun sport because it doesn't take much
Hmm.
to put a league up there and go. The
Hmm.
unicycle is the expensive part, I'm sure, but a stick and a ball and a couple of goals, and you slap them in any gymnasium,
Hmm.
and you have your infrastructure ready to go. I think
I
that's
think it
pretty
looks
cool.
fun, especially for people who like to unicycle. This would be like a cool extension of that. Like I'm a
Yeah.
unicycler. That's what I want to do all the time. So I'm playing a sport. So I
People
could
who have
see
a
that.
little bit of competitive fire and can
Yeah.
ride a unicycle, count
Hmm.
me in.
It's not really a spectator sport, though, I think, because
No,
it's just not fast enough. So
no.
let's take a look at the next one. All right, the next sport is bog snorkeling. This is a really interesting kind of swimming that is pretty gross, as you would have to go snorkeling in a marshy bog in Wales. The water-filled trench is cut through a peat bog. Participants must wear snorkels and flippers in order to swim through the peat bog. Participants cannot use their arms, only their legs. Traditional swimming techniques are not welcome, however, but only through the use of snorkeling strokes and processes can one perform. The sport has held an annual world championship in Wales since 1985, and there's two races, one with and one without a toilet on your back. Which I think is there anything more British or Wales than that, right? So, what are your thoughts about bog snorkeling?
So I gotta think this is people had a few too many pints, and let's go try this. I can't
Yeah,
really see this happening in the U.S. I mean, would you try this in the Everglades?
no.
No, no.
So probably
It's
somewhere in the
interesting.
US you could do it, maybe.
Maybe.
You're
I
not doing
love
it
it.
in
I think
Louisiana,
it's interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be really this one I would go watch. I'm not sure I would try it.
Yeah, I don't think I would
I
do that.
wouldn't like the feeling of not being able to see where you're going. It's so muddy that
Well, they got masks on.
I know, but you still I mean, you're going through mud water. You
I don't
can't really
know.
see very much,
And you
right?
can't use your arms.
And use your arms, so you have to use only your fins.
But you know what's interesting? You'll see the technique. You'll see they do their shoulders to get sort of a little bit of the arm motions.
I
Check
gotta
out
say,
these swimmers.
it's pretty physical. I gotta say, these guys are pretty good athletes.
It's
They really are.
it's like somebody that doesn't have working arms swimming in a normal setting.
So I gotta think they were having too many pints when they thought of this in the first place. Then
Oh yeah.
when they added the second race and put a toilet on their back,
That was
they
just
were
for humor, I think.
I think they were probably smoking a little pot or something, like
Yeah.
like
No, they
they
got
just
in their
wanted
15th pint.
Which race are you better at, the one with or without toilet? Bog snorkeling. All right, let's take a look.
Let's go. Your shoulders.
All right, the question is, would you try it?
Probably, because I'd have just as many pints as they did, and I'd say, yeah, count me in.
Actually, that is a sport you could do after going to the pub first. You could. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about it.
Somebody'd have to make sure you came back up, but
Yeah, I think there's enough people watching there. That's a
Yeah.
hilarious one. I not only would try, but I would go watch that. That is hilarious.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun to watch people go into the muddy bog and, stick their snorkel up and
We could always dig a
waddle.
trench in the Raleigh area and start a Bog Snorkeling club.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be fun. That's a good one. So Bog Snorkeling, add that to the Olympics. All right, drop us a comment, everybody, if you would try that one. Here goes the next one. All right, this one is number 3, Kabaddi. Kabaddi resembles the schoolyard game of Red Rover, but it also has roots in Indian wrestling and also allows you to tackle your opponent to the ground. It's a national game of Bangladesh and Nepal, having originated in ancient India. It is now the second most popular sport in India after cricket, which is pretty amazing. Each year there's a World Cup in South Asia, and India has won every single year since it started. During a game, a raider must run across the center line and tag players of the opposing team before returning to their own half. This may sound simple, but the raider must also do all of this while holding his breath when an opponent's half. And upon returning, the raider will chant Kabadi Kabadi with his exhaling breath to show that he is not inhaled. It has recently reached the UK, and there is now a governing body there, and it could be one of the most popular global sports one day. What are your thoughts about this very strange wrestling type Red Rover sport?
So it's kind of funny. I work with a lot of Indian students, and I talked to one of them today about this Kabaddi, and he said, "Oh yes, we all know about Kabaddi. It's not huge everywhere in India, but it is big in certain towns, and it is a big sport there." And he said they're known as really good athletes, and he said there's not a lot of money in it like there is in cricket. He said, but it is there that is popular, and people the top teams are known, so it's kind of like the Patriots or it's
Mhm.
so
And actually, there is some money in it because I noticed there's 2 professional leagues in India, and there's sponsorships, and there's like all
yeah.
pro games, and
He
so
was
there's
just
some.
saying that you don't have the
Yeah,
big contracts,
yeah,
like
yeah.
but they are known as probably the best athletes. So
Mhm.
it's pretty interesting. When I was trying to figure out what this sport was all about, there's just a couple different ways you can score. And one is you go over to the opponent's half and you tag them, and then you get back to your half.
And
And
they
that's a
tackle you.
point for each tag. Meanwhile, on your way back, they're trying to tackle you. And if they tackle you and hold you in their half, they get a point.
Right.
So um, it is possible to get tackled, but still make it to your side. If you touch your side, then you get the points that you just got by tagging all those guys.
Mhm.
And
That's
the
right.
ones tackling you automatically get tagged. So you have to make the tackle and hold them from getting back.
Right, right. They
So
were, I was reading that the athletes who play kabaddi are a lot like in England or France or somewhere, rugby players would look like if they're a fly half. So these guys
yeah.
are they're short and small and they're compact, but they're very muscular and they're very quick. They
Yeah,
dart
you have to
around.
be pretty shifty to be able to tag
Yeah,
people and not have the whole group tackle
yeah.
you.
But you have to be strong too, because you have to be able to stiff arm and you have to be able, so
Yeah,
it's a little bit like rugby, really, in terms of the tackling.
kind of,
Yeah.
kind of.
So is this something you would try? I know you played rugby.
Yeah, it looks interesting to me.
Would you try kabaddi?
I don't know if I'm quick enough, but I could do the tackling.
That's right. What about the holding your breath? That's a little strange
I
aspect
don't
of
know
it.
about all that. I don't.
Yeah.
I'd have to just learn how to do that.
And then exhaling kabaddi, kabaddi when you get back across the line with your points.
Hmm.
This is interesting. I kind of like to watch a professional match, see what that looks like.
As I was watching these videos, I started to understand the scoring a little bit. Like I started going, okay, green team gets points there. Yep, sure did. Or red team, red team scored. And then you look, yep, good,
Hmm.
okay. So
Hmm.
it's pretty obvious what's going on, but there's some little parts of this that are a little more confusing. But
You
let's
look at
roll.
you look at a country like India or Pakistan, and you wonder why they don't get that many Olympic medals, and you start to realize it's because they have sports that we just don't have. Like they just have a
Yeah,
whole
that's
nother
right.
culture. Let's go take a look
That's
at
right.
it.
You know what I heard today that was interesting? India has so many people that they have the same number of people as North America, Canada, America, and Mexico, South America, all those countries, and the EU combined.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, they have slightly more people than China.
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I looked it
I
up
didn't
today.
either.
Just
they're the
slightly.
they're the world's largest democracy.
Yeah, 1.4 billion.
Well, let's take a look at this. And everybody who's watching, drop us a comment. Would you try Kabaddi? Would you be?
Let's go.
Do you have the skills to try it? Let's go.
स्वागत है आप सभी का जोन बी का ये मुकाबला मेजबान पटना पायरेट्स के लिए अपनी मेजबानी में ये सेकंड लास्ट चांस बेहतर करें मुकाबले को जीतें डीगो प्रो कबड्डी पावर्ड बाय थम्स अप चार्ज में प्रदीप करवाल इस मुकाबले की पहली रेड के साथ पटना का पाटलिपुत्र स्टेडियम एक बार फिर एक नए इतिहास का साक्षी बना है प्रदीप करवाल दोबारा पॉइंट्स टेबल के टॉप पर पहुंच चुके हैं
रोहित कुमार रेड में है 1 पॉइंट इनको पहले मिला है और ये एक और हो सकता है
बोनस प्लस पॉइंट बेंगलुरु बुल्स
पूरा स्टेडियम प्रदीप के नाम के नारे लगा रहा है
Oh, he got taken down.
इंदर ने बदला ले लिया है अच्छा ब्लॉक उनका
अगर सुपर टैकल होता है तो बराबरी पर तो नहीं लेकिन बराबरी के नजदीक
Crowd goes wild.
दीपक करवाल 4 के डिफेंस में घिर जाएंगे लेकिन
You got that.
अब आएगा मजा डुओ डाई रेड है रेडर को पॉइंट लेना है पॉइंट नहीं मिला तो सुपर टैकल होगा टर्न किया मंजीत का टर्न बहुत काम आया उनके
तो हाफ टाइम तक की कहानी यही है कि 3 पॉइंट का फासला पटना पायरेट्स के पास मेजबान डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस के लिए ये एक बेहतरीन मौका
They got
कि वो
pyrotechnics.
में वापस लौटे
अब तक जितनी रेड हुई है दोनों टीम्स की तरफ से इस हाफ में हर एक रेड में हर एक खिलाड़ी को पॉइंट मिला है
You know what I realized watching that? There's some elements of it that are like other sports, but there's nothing really like that in Western
nothing.
culture.
Not a
That's
sport. No.
That's the
There's
wildest thing I've ever
games.
seen.
There's games that you played when you were kids or something, but there's no sport that's like that.
It's crazy, and I actually kind of enjoy it.
It's kind of fun. Yeah.
It's kind of fun to watch. I don't know if
Strategic.
you like wrestling or if you like rugby or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I
It's like
love when they
when-
get tackled and they can't get back. That's cool.
Yeah, or when they barely get the one hand back, like they just scored a
Yeah.
touchdown. I guess it's a little bit like rugby.
I mean,
All right, here's the next one.
there's no ball. Like it's very different, but it's got elements.
All right, our next one, number 4, is Zorbing, which is also called globe riding, sphering, or orbing. And it's a recreational sport of rolling downhill inside an orb, which is essentially one of those balls you see on the screen there, typically made of transparent plastic. Zorbing is generally performed on a gentle slope, but it can also be done on a level surface, permitting more rider control. In the absence of hills, some operators have constructed inflatable wooden or metal ramps. Due to the buoyant nature of the orbs, zorbing can also be done carried out on water or with water in the orb itself. Water walking using such orbs has become very popular in theme parks across the UK. There's 2 types of orbs. There's harnessed and non-harnessed. Non-harnessed orbs carry up to 3 riders, and a harnessed orb is constructed for 1 to 2 riders. The first zorbing site was established in New Zealand, and now zorbing racing is one of the fastest growing sports in the 18 to 25 age range. So they're actually having races now for up to 10 zorbs at a time. What are your thoughts about this one?
I mean, this is a crazy one. Like it's not like anything else that you've seen. It's kind of cool, the technology. I kind of feel like you could probably do a bunch of different things with those Zorb things.
It'd
be
that's what I
fun.
thought. I said, you know what? There's so many things you could do with this. You could do hill, you could do non-hill, you could do water, no water. You could do it at an amusement park. You could do races like we do when we go tubing in the winter.
Yeah.
We do
Yeah.
races. Very similar. You could do races like that. It could be, for fun. It could be competitive. You could have like a Zorbing league. It's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
would definitely try this. I think this would be super fun.
Absolutely. This would be fun.
The boys would love it. And the fact that the age range 18 to 25 really love this. This is kind of like a young person sport.
And it's pretty popular in Austria where there's a lot of hills.
You see there the Zorbing World Championships in 2019 in Austria.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a great sport for Austria. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, let's go take a look at what this looks like.
That was so fun. That's crazy. There's water in it.
So would I try it? Yes. And I'm actually looking forward to trying it. Next summer, we're going.
Let's check it out. Let's do it.
What do you think? Would you try it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I want to. It'd be fun. There was water in the Zorb, which is cool. You're sloshing around inside it. It looks like a really fun summer activity.
I'm imagining all the popes getting really competitive with that. I can imagine it. It'd be great. We got to get Dad in there.
Yeah. You can go in the little portal.
All right, let's go take a look at the next one. So this one is a really famous one in Asia. It's very popular. It's getting more and more popular. They're having regional championships all over the world now, Asian games. It's called Sepak Tekraw. And it looks odd to most Westerners, but it's actually an enormously popular sport in Asia. It's been around since the 15th century. It translates to kickball, and it's nothing like soccer at all. The more accurate comparison is more like volleyball with your feet. Court is divided by a net, and both teams must keep the ball aloft or the other team gains a point. Unlike volleyball, however, you're not allowed to use your hands, and instead you must use your feet, your knees, or your chin. This may sound near impossible to get any kind of rally going, but you'd be absolutely amazed at the skill level and athleticism of these guys. The sport is mainly played in Thailand and Malaysia, and it's a regular event at the Asian Games. So what are your thoughts when you watch this sport?
It's amazing. These guys are like ninjas. They're like third-degree black belts, it looks like, in order to control their feet to this extent. It's incredible.
They're basically martial artists who play part soccer, part volleyball.
Yeah. I immediately thought of martial arts when I saw the videos because that's the only way you could perform like these things. For this one, it's not about whether I would do it. I would do it, of course. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, I don't think we could get our feet up above the net like that. That's insane.
No. What they do here is incredible. You'll see in a second. It's quite a skill.
And you know what? Some of these weird ones we're looking at, these weird sports we're looking at, are not pleasurable to watch for a long period, and some are. This one would be fun to watch. I'd watch a whole match. It's just fascinating.
Yeah, because what they're doing is such an athletic feat.
Yeah, and it's wild when they both, you can see on the right there, when they both are kicking at the same ball over the net together.
It's just like volleyball where you're trying to block,
right?
But you're using your feet. It's crazy.
That's right. Yeah. So you would try this one, but you don't think you could do it?
I would try it, but I would be ineffective because what is necessary for this is super athleticism. And
to be able to get up high, which I don't think we can do.
Yeah, the athleticism of jumping high, bring your leg up with power. And it's like watching very high level martial artists is what it's like. You can't really relate as if like you could do something like those guys that flip around and kick all these different boards that people are holding and stuff. It's just like that.
And the ball is really interesting. It's made of like really strange materials.
Yeah.
Like almost like
it's not round. It's like rounded with ridges or something.
Yeah. You'll see it when we watch the video, but it's kind of a strange ball.
Yeah.
Let's go take a look.
Smaller. The ball is smaller.
Exactly.
Crazy.
You know what? They're also acrobats. It's not just martial art. They're acrobats is what they are. Like they could be in a circus or something with the
Yeah.
high rope and incredible. So athletic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely watch that one. That's a lot of fun.
It's
Any
like
other-
straight out of volleyball, but because you have to use your feet, it just adds such a different element.
It does. It's really fun. And the fact that it's 3-on-3, that's interesting. I wonder why they don't.
I'd like to watch one live. Like that would be cool.
Did you see how many times they get blocked? That surprised me.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
about every other time they block it. That's wild.
And they were decent soccer players where the ball would come down and they could like save it, like you're
Mhm.
saving it in volleyball kind of.
Mhm. And that ball doesn't look like it's that easy to control either. So interesting. Yeah, I like that sport a lot. That's fun. Here's the next one. All right, this one is a very strange one. You and I were talking about this yesterday and laughing about it.
Yeah.
Chess boxing. There are typically two types of competition that are in complete opposite sides of the spectrum. But one person thought it would be a fantastic idea to merge the two and create a new hybrid sport. The result has simply been named chess boxing. Dutch performance artist Lampe was the inventor of it. The first competition took place in Berlin in 2003 and it has since exploded in popularity and is now played in Germany, Great Britain, India, and Russia, with major organizations and competitions happening every year. Chess boxing fight consists of 11 rounds, 6 chess and 5 boxing, and they alternate between each sport, lasting 3 minutes each. A competitor may win by knockout, technical knockout, checkmate, or their opponent becomes disqualified or resigns. Typically, a fight goes on, the standard of chess understandably drops. And I saw a bunch of anecdotes about that the chess quality over the rounds gets worse and worse, which I can imagine because they get tired. What are your thoughts about this combination, this strange combination, chess and boxing?
It's such a weird combination because it's brawn, punching and boxing is a very physical activity that creates damage to your opponent. And then chess is so cerebral. There's nothing physical about it. And takes heavy concentration. So when you've just been punched in the head 10 times, I'm sure it's really hard to think seven moves ahead like chess requires to be a champion. Actually, it was interesting. A lot of the videos I was watching, they were kind of making fun of these boxers' chess skills. They were kind of not the top-notch chess players, but I think this is a really fascinating sport. Could you see this at the Olympics?
Maybe. I bet you.
Maybe.
I bet you the viewers would be pretty big. I think you get good ratings.
So different, and it mixes two things people are very familiar with. But it just doesn't. They're not familiar with them together. So
they were saying the boxing is not at championship level either. So when you look at it from a boxing technique perspective, it's not championship level, and chess not championship level. But how many people in the world can actually do both of these in the same event? There's very few, right?
Yeah, it's too strange. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's really funny. I love this one. This just makes me laugh. Would I try it? Probably not. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe. What do you think? Would you try it?
Depends on who the other guy is. I don't want to get in the ring with a goon.
Like that guy on the left?
Yeah, I mean, if the other guy looks moderately like me and I don't think he's a black belt or something, I'd probably do it.
I wonder if your boxing is a little bit off that day or your chess is a little bit off that day. I wonder if you would try a little extra hard on the other one. Like, let's just say you're not thinking very clearly. Maybe you would try to knock him out in boxing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or if you're exceptionally stronger in one of the events or the other, like if you're a really good chess player, you're just running around the ring trying to survive, and then you're like, back to chess. Let me take this guy out.
Right. Right. Exactly. Well, let's go take a look.
Just roll.
Sometimes in chess, the only possible way to win is to punch the other guy in the face. This is a problem that grandmasters across the globe have been working on for decades, and they've come up with a brilliant solution. It's the game of champions. The only sport where a grandmaster and a bouncer have a 50-50 chance of winning. It's called chess boxing. How does it work? It's simple. You play chess for a couple of minutes, adjourn the game, beat the shit out of each other for a couple of minutes, and play more chess. Repeat this process until the other guy gets checkmated or hospitalized. The result is that you get to witness the most hilarious game of chess you've ever seen, and the most abysmal boxing match you've ever seen in one go. Let's take a look at the brilliant chess games of the illustrious 2017 Brexit Chess Boxing Championships. The quality of chess, I am told, is truly second to none.
Oh dear, terrible blunder.
Oh. Oh, I see. Oh, is he going to play d6? Is he going to play d6? Nope. It was a good try, man. Come on, play rook f8. Just, it'll give you a couple extra moves. Come on. Rook f8, rook f8, rook f8. Fuck. But don't worry, if you're having a hard time following the extremely complex chess that's happening over the board, there's always some grandmaster level commentary to help you out.
Pawn to a4. That was very profound. So profound, I don't know why I played it.
Oh, that's truly enlightening.
Knight e5, that attacks the bishop. The knight moves forward into the center and attacks the bishop. Knights move in an L shape, so that knight is attacking the bishop. That's called a fianchetto.
That's not how you pronounce it, bro. But don't worry, because if you suck at chess as much as these guys, I'm sure you'll find the world-class boxing skills of the contestants to be even more enthralling.
That's pitiful. I could be him.
Now, I know what you're thinking, but Ben, isn't there an extremely obvious bias towards being good at boxing because you can just stall during the chess game and then knock the other guy out? Shut up, the sport is flawless, okay? Just stop asking so many questions. So sign up to your local chess boxing club today to get started on your journey. I hear there are at least 3 clubs worldwide, so it should be no trouble at all.
I think they showed an extreme example there. I'm sure the boxers are a little bit better than that.
Yeah,
But,
the videos I was watching, they were real boxers. They weren't top level, but they were competitive.
I got to think they're competitive boxers and not very good chess players. That's what it looks like.
Decent chess players. They take the gloves off them, and they still have those underglove tape things.
Right.
And they're moving the chess pieces around. It's
Did you ever
fun.
figure out how they do that? Like, how do you put them back on, take them off?
Yeah. No, the gloves, I saw them. They put their hand in, taped up, and then they just like they tape them off or something like that. I saw it. It looked pretty easy, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as intensely put on like a real boxer who needs a team of guys to get the glove off.
Well, if I could fight a guy who's cowering like that, I probably would try it.
I would fight that guy that was on his back.
That's what I'm saying. I would fight him. And I'd play chess against him too.
But the videos I was watching were real competitive boxers that,
That was a comical look at it, but it gives you a little sense for it. I mean, really, you got 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. You got to go between your brain and your brawn.
Gotta be strange.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right, next one. All right, this next one is number 7. This is Hornussen. It's not a sport you see played every day. It's an indigenous Swiss sport, which was thought to have developed in the 17th century and is now starting to get recognition outside of Switzerland. It's typically been played by Swiss farmers and was a way to settle disputes in a village to prove one's strength. The best comparison you can make about this is a combination of golf and baseball, as it sees a batting team launch a puck or a hornus into the air with a whip. They must get it as far into their opponent's area as possible, while the defending team must stop the puck with big placards on long sticks. And you can see a picture there on the bottom left of all the defending team with their sticks with big placards trying to knock the ball down, or the puck, I guess it is. So the team with the fewest penalization points or smallest number of failed interceptions wins. And each team gets 2 bouts with each player hitting twice. There's actually an international foundation that was found in 2012, and 20 U.S. clubs exist now of Hornussen. So it's actually played in this country. What are your thoughts about this very strange Swiss sport that almost nobody knows about?
Very unusual. It was fascinating watching them get everything set up and figure out how to hit the hornus, and then trying to figure out they have these like pizza paddle things that you would get a pizza out of a pizza oven with, to stop the Hornets from flying any further. You want to stop it as far forward as you can.
Right.
It's a very strange mixture of other sports and events.
And apparently the Hornets actually bounces quite well even on grass. Like it'll go far away if you don't knock it down. Like it'll bounce. So
I'll be honest, before we started doing research for this podcast, I never seen this before. A lot of the other ones I've kind of stumbled upon at some point or seen and didn't understand, but this I've never seen anything like it.
Apparently, I was reading that a lot of people who go visit Switzerland, which is one of the most visited countries in the world because it's beautiful, will be driving around the countryside and they'll run into one of these matches going on and they stop and pull over and take pictures and like, what the heck is this? Like they can't figure out what it is because no one's ever heard of it. And I would love to watch this match. I think it'd be fun. And would I try it? Absolutely.
Wild.
I would definitely.
It looks
try
like a high skill to hit that Hornus. To do the whip and it's got a wooden thing on the end of it. It's like a super long bendy golf club sort of.
Kind of, yeah. And it bends and it whips. It's kind of like a whip motion. Yeah. And I think you'd have to have a lot of skill to use one of those pizza things too on a stick to try to stop this puck that's coming at a pretty high speed. So
the skill to me looks like though the guy hitting.
Hitting is harder. There's no question about that. Yeah, I agree. So everybody on the team gets to hit twice. Feels a little bit like cricket too. They didn't mention cricket, but it's like golf, baseball, and maybe a little bit of cricket. And the puck is a little bit like a hockey puck. So let's go take a look at it.
Yeah, let's see it.
To start with, in this sport you have the stick, which you use when you are batting. The stick itself is usually made of carbon fibre, and on the top of it you have the treff. The treff is a piece of smooth wood, which is what actually strikes the Hornus. Each of the fielding players has a schindler, which looks like a pizza baking shovel. Then you have the Bok, which is the metal rail on which you place the Hornus. It's firmly embedded in the ground. And finally, you have the Hornus itself. It's small and made of plastic and weighs 72 grams.
The exact origins of this sport are unknown. Some think it was developed from a battle tactic, where soldiers would hit stones into the enemy's camp. Others suggest that it was a forerunner to modern-day golf. The first known mention of Hornussen was in the 17th century. Records show that a Swiss parish church admonished some of its congregation for playing the game on a Sunday. In those days, Hornussen was associated with drinking and brawling, and was frowned upon by the establishment. Today, however, it's no longer seen as a roguish pastime.
Hornussen has changed, and things are obviously different now. It's viewed just like any other sport. It's played by amateurs, but the amount of people playing it has increased. The sport's infrastructure is much better now, and no one can deny that it's a legitimate sport. It's certainly much more acceptable, and a lot less rowdy than it was in the olden days.
The aim for the batting team is to hit the Hornus and land it on the playing strip. The fielders take up positions at 10-metre intervals and, with their shindles, they attempt to stop the Hornus from landing. A point is scored for every 10 metres that the Hornus travels after the first 100, and a goal is scored if it lands on the strip directly. Goals are more important than points, but they are rare. In the event of an equal number of goals, or none at all, the team with the most points wins. Each player gets 2 hits per inning, and 2 innings per team make up a match. Marco Roos is a multiple national champion.
It's great that Hornussen is considered the Swiss national sport. It's heavily rooted in family tradition, and it's specific to the region. I don't think I would have ever played Hornussen if my father hadn't done so, or at least I wouldn't be that good at it. In some areas of Switzerland, it's a great source of pride if you're good at the sport.
Hitting the Hornus requires a combination of strength and technique. For the fielding team, excellent eyesight is needed to spot the Hornus, which can reach speeds of well over 300 kilometers per hour.
What do you think of that sport, man?
I love it. It's just so
I
crazy.
love it too. Do you think you could hit it?
No, I could catch it. I'm not saying I would catch every one, but I think I could get one.
I didn't think I'd ever think I'd see a sport like that was harder than golf. I think that's harder than golf.
I think it's harder than golf.
That's unbelievably hard to hit it.
I know.
And when they hit it, these guys are good at it. They hit it so far that the first 20 guys are just out of the play, right? It's really the back guys.
Too. Everyone is in the fairway, like the equivalent of the fairway in golf.
Mm-hmm.
And they're hitting it with a weird.
Did you see the one guy throwing the thing up, try to stop it?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I'd be worried my eyes aren't good enough to play defense. I think you'd really, maybe when I was younger, but
they got helmets on. They're okay. It just.
No, but you can't. How do you see the puck?
I don't know how you get that whip on target.
300 kilometers per hour. That's what? It's going about 160 miles an hour.
60. Yeah.
Good Lord. I don't know. It looks fun to me. I'd try it.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I think I'd be very good at it, but it'd be fun. Drink some beer, play some Hornussen with the Swiss guys.
Yeah.
Have some cheese. I like it. I would definitely try it.
I'll try it.
Everybody who's watching, tell us, would you try some Hornussen? All right, next one is number 8. This is Bossaball. It's a new sport that was conceptualized by Philippe Ekmans, who's from Belgium, in 2004. It's first played in Spain, and it incorporates elements of volleyball, soccer, gymnastics, and capoeira, and is most commonly played on beaches around the world. It's gotten really, really popular. Apparently, there's a pro league now, and it's on TV all the time. They love it down in Brazil. The inflatable court has 2 trampolines on either side of the net, with one player, the attacker, occupying the trampoline. A player on the opposite side serves the ball, and the opposing team must return the ball over the net with no more than 5 touches. So it's a little bit like volleyball. Volleyball's 3, and in Bossaball it's 5. Where a rally
this is a whole lot like volleyball.
It is a lot like volleyball. It's just
they add the trampoline and
they add the trampoline and also some kind of acrobatics, like air acrobatics kind of thing. So when an attacker is able to gain height and power, they can spike very powerfully and acrobatically and spectacularly. You see, they also crank the net way, way up in the air. So to actually get a spike, you actually have to go probably max off of the trampoline.
You got to go airborne.
Yeah, that's right. So it must be why it's so fun, because you're basically trampolining all day. What do you think about this one? Would you try this one?
I would try it. This looks like a fun leisure. Let's do this. I could see them at beaches, like off to the side, set up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be fun. This would be one of the least sort of wildly high skill level. You could try this and you could do it and it'd be fun.
This is actually, this match you're showing here on the screen was a match between Germany and Brazil. It was actually their 2 national teams. So
yeah,
Bossaball is getting more popular as well as a beach activity. This looks like a lot of fun. I don't think this is crazy. It definitely combines a couple different sports into one.
Yeah,
which is really the focus of a lot of
volleyball.
These. Yeah, a little bit of soccer because you can use your feet in this one. In volleyball, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You actually use your feet, and you get 5 touches instead of 3, so you can really set up those big time spikes. Well, let's go take a look at it.
It kind of reminds me of when at halftime at a basketball game, when guys are doing dunking with the mascot and stuff, when they're jumping on the trampoline in front of the rim and they do the pass off the backboard, and it looks kind of like you add the trampoline to make it more dramatic.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's go see what it looks like.
Oh, that was cool.
You know, you spent a lot of your life as an adult at the beach. I mean, can't you just see like that being just the most fun beach sport? Like a
Yeah.
bunch of young people hanging around playing 5-on-5 Bossaball.
Be so fun. Be so fun.
You can use your feet, which I really like, especially if you like soccer. So what are your thoughts about that sport? Cool combo.
It looks like more of way more fun than the other, like more of a fun leisure thing instead of not as intense as some of the other ones. Looks like something you could play with your friends.
Yeah, it's a blast. Now, pro leagues and all that, I don't know, but they are having national teams play each other. So it's
Yeah,
starting
I
to
bet
be-
it gets competitive, but you could easily do that not so competitive.
But you see, like everyone's around the court and they're sitting in their chair and they're drinking a beer and they're at the beach and they're in flip flops.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know,
The
one of
ball
those
comes
leisure-
to you and you throw it back to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Having a great day. Which of those 5 positions would you like to be? Would you like to be the spiker? Would you want to be the setter? You want to be the guy who's saving on the back line?
I don't know. Probably all of them. I'd like to move around.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to try all those positions too. I'd like to be a setter, I think. It'd be kind of fun. Set the guy up for a big spike. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, number 9 is Bo Taoshi. Originally invented as a training exercise for the Japanese military, Bo Taoshi is a bizarre, chaotic, wild, and highly entertaining sport played in Japan. It's similar to capture the flag, but it's much more extreme and will always result in complete mayhem. You have 75 players on the attack and 75 players on defense. The attacking team must bring a wooden pole that is perpendicular to the ground down to a 30-degree angle. The defending team must stop them, and they do this in a somewhat organized manner with different positions around the pole. And then pole support holds the pole position in place. Barriers protect the pole, and they're the largest part of the defense. And then interference harass attackers that get within the barrier. Scrum disablers eliminate the offensive tactic of springboarding, and the ninja sits atop the pole and leans to the opposite side of which one it's being tilted to counteract the weight. So it looks like mayhem, but there's a lot of strategy. I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah.
A couple of these videos. And when you have that many people attacking, that many people defending, you really have to be organized. So what was your thought when you first saw Bo Taoshi as a sport?
It was violent and wild, and it looked like there was a lot of technique that I didn't quite understand in the beginning. I kind of have it now. It's intense. This is an intense one.
They're like
Really
climbing on top of each other. They climb on top of each other's heads.
kicking each other in the face and stuff.
I know.
Crazy.
Which position would you want to be? You want to be the ninja? You want to be
No.
the guy, interference guys?
I don't think I want to be any of these.
You don't?
I don't think so. Not on this one.
I would try it. I would
This
try,
is
but I
crazy.
want to be on the attack. If I'm going to do it, I got to be on the attack, and I got to be about 22 years old.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I would try it. I think, but it's pretty crazy.
A few years and a few pounds ago.
This is the kind of thing. Like anytime you go to an Asian sport, they're so wild. There's something that we could never think of. I think in the West. I mean, maybe that's wrong, but that's just my opinion. I just don't think we can ever think of something like this.
It's just an intense game.
75 on 75. Oh man, let's go take a look.
Let's roll it. Guys are getting peeled up.
All right, I have to say, I've lived on this earth 55 years, and I've never seen any sport like that, man. What the heck?
No.
Half the guys
No.
don't have a shirt anymore. Their
It's
shirts
nothing
are
like
gone.
anything else.
You don't know what team they're on. You know?
Yeah.
The guys
I
wrestling
know.
on the ground, the guys kicking each other in the face.
Yeah.
The ninja was gone after like 2 minutes. You don't know
Yeah.
where he is anymore.
Yeah.
Man, what's your analysis of this sport? I mean, how would you even like commentate it?
It's
couldn't.
crazy.
You couldn't
It's
be a
just not
commentator.
like any other sport.
They're all yelling, and one team runs one way. And it's just
It
wow.
seemed like there was a lot of order to it, even though it was pure chaos. It was
It's
strange.
chaos, but there's a strategy. There's no doubt.
It kind of reminds me of rugby, where you can feel there's order, but if you don't understand the game, you don't quite understand how it works, but you can feel that there's some etiquette to it and some order.
Didn't you feel like that pole was going to go down anytime, but it never did? It's wild.
Well, what's on the bottom down there? Like what's holding it? People?
Yeah.
They're just like holding on to it like
The
this.
ninja is supposed to stay up there to counteract the weight. That's his job. But you see, after a couple of minutes, he gets taken down because there's so many attackers. And it's wild. That's a crazy one.
You
So
won't
drop
see
us-
that in the Olympics, I don't think.
I don't think so. Guys, drop us a comment. Would you try Bo Taoshi? Would you be one of the 75 attacking or defending the pole? Be real interested to see what you say. Let's go take a look at the next one. This next one's number 10. This is called Octopush or underwater hockey. And it's a non-contact underwater sport that has two teams participating. The teams have to maneuver a puck right across the bottom of the swimming pool, which is the goal area. It's played quite like hockey, but just underwater. Underwater hockey has become steadily famous in countries like UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and South Africa. There are large Octopush sessions all across these major countries, which regularly arrange competitions of the game. And there's a push to get this sport into the 2032 Olympics. It's actually a serious push to get it in. So what are your thoughts about these underwater games? We could have shown several others.
I could see this one. I mean, it kind of enters the realm of water polo or synchronized swimming. You know what I mean? It's sort of in that same sphere. It's pretty cool.
I like it.
I don't know exactly how you hold your breath that long, but
you can't. So that's my one complaint about the underwater sports. It's kind of enjoyable to watch and funny to watch for a little bit. It's probably more fun to play it than watch it because
yeah,
to me, you see the guy on the right there who's pushing the puck across the bottom of the pool, and the other people are trying to stop him. You can only push it about 10 feet, and you got to go back up to the top and go get a breath. So,
Well, my biggest question is, how would you watch it if you were a bystander, a fan? Like,
you'd have to watch it on TV. It'd have to be a TV.
Do they
channel.
have a glass side to the pool? Do they have underwater cameramen?
I don't know, but you see there's a ref there. If you see on the left side over there, there's a ref that stands behind a little cage.
Yeah.
So there's actually a referee in this game. But I don't know. My complaint with it is you're always having to go up to the top. I think if they could figure out a version
But you know
of this,
what?
we have a little air.
If you think about it, that's actually the coolest part of the game, because if your team can hold their breath longer, you're going to move the puck more forward.
Mhm.
as the defenders all have to keep going up. And
Mhm.
if you're in the better shape and have the better air discipline, then you're probably going to score. So I think I kind of like that part of it.
So you got to be a good swimmer. You have to have really good breath control, right?
Really good breath control.
You have
Navy
to
SEAL.
be pretty good hand-eye coordination, because you got to be able to push this puck along the bottom of the pool.
Yeah.
And then you've got to be able to swim quickly up to the top and get a big full breath and then come back down again. So I don't know. There's some interesting skills there. I just think these underwater sports would be better if they had little tank on their back. It could stay under for a while, and you could watch it on TV. And then you'd have like a real hockey match rather than, a couple minutes of action, then everybody goes up to the top. I don't know. That's just my take on it. But it's enjoyable for a little bit. Would you try it?
Yeah.
Would
Although
you?
I wouldn't say I'm in a category that could be very impressive on the holding your breath very long. So
Mhm.
it wouldn't be out of the question, but I don't think
I
I'd
would
be
try
very
it. I'll try it for fun. I just don't think, it's not really that much of a viable sport, in my opinion, because you can't stay under long enough to really make it have some real action. But
Well, I
don't
think
know.
these people can. I don't think I could.
Maybe it's more strategic than you think. I don't know. Let's go take a look.
I think maybe you gotta stagger how many people take a breath at once, and you gotta,
Yeah, probably.
Oh, that's a good save. That looks hard.
Dernières secondes, on voit que toutes les deux équipes peuvent lâcher. Concrètement, c'est pas du tout la meilleure subtilité qui va jouer, c'est vraiment le but des derniers, c'est le sac là.
Oh,
Quel
quel
magnifique
geste anglais!
Good move. Goal.
Played before for New Zealand.
So for the elite team, was the squad himself?
Yeah.
Oh, nice chance to break here by number 9. And here he goes with that inverted swim, and that looks like it might be a stick tackle. Interesting for the referee's view on that, as he inverted his stick and it looked like he got hit first. But doesn't really matter, as they're able to break down the middle. Nice swim by New Zealand, getting so close to the goal, but stopped brilliantly by...
I have to say they are more athletic than I thought they were. That's wow. You and I
Yeah.
couldn't play at that level.
No.
Not only are they
You could
great
go down,
swimmers,
hit it, and then go back up.
they have 1% body fat. They're incredible swimmers. They have incredible control of their hand like that. I mean, you have this little tiny stick, and then you got to get all the way down to the other side and fight against water or fight against the defender.
The impressive part is the control of breath. That's
Mhm.
the impressive part.
Yeah, I agree. If they had a tank on their back, at least for 5 minutes, might make it a little more interesting. There'd be more action down there. But that was more action than I thought. It wasn't bad.
Mhm.
Kind of cool. All right, next one. All right, this is one of your favorites, number 11, wife carrying. If you look at Rob's background, that's what he's got. It's also one of the weirdest sports in the world. The world championships of this game are held around the world throughout the year. This happens between a number of couples in which male candidates have to carry their female partners on their backs. They have to go through different obstacles in the fastest time. In some leagues, there's also a weight restriction or limit. It would become more difficult to reach the endpoint with weight on the back. During this event, many funny and dangerous things happen, and some deadly injuries have also taken place over the years. So what are your thoughts about this sport, first of all, from a physical standpoint, but just the whole concept of wife carrying, where these
I have
guys.
so many questions, like how did this start?
Yeah.
And you probably don't tell your in-laws about it. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
you're probably competing and you just tell them you're out of town for the weekend, but
Imagine telling your wife's mother,
Mom.
like your mother-in-law, like, we do
Yeah,
wife
no.
carrying. What do you mean?
or
Oh, this sport.
father-in-law. I'm carrying your wife, and I'm telling her to lose some weight so like we can win. Like, oh.
If she can drop 20 pounds, we'll do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, the father-in-law looks at the mother-in-law like, this one's particularly bad.
So
Anyway,
I want to know what the feminists of America think of this.
I don't know. I think it's a hilarious sport.
Oh man, wife
And I
carrying.
bet you there's a lot of technique that you need to learn how to,
I was reading there's a bunch of ways to carry. One, like the guy on the left there, is carrying 2 of them actually. And then there's another technique you see there on the right, and you have it behind you, where you basically straddle a person on your back. In a very
that's how
interesting
I've
technique.
seen it mostly. And
Yeah.
I think that's how people get hurt is they go down into the water and maybe they don't come back up.
And I noticed, like, the wives, I mean, they've got to take a big breath because sometimes in these water events, their
Yeah.
head goes down under the water for quite a long time.
Yeah, if you look over here, this lady right here, I think her face is in the water.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. How do you train for this? Like, just in your backyard, you just pick them up
I
and
don't know.
they straddle your face? I don't know.
I don't
It's
recommend it for any marriage that's on the rocks because
No.
if he drops you or like so many things can go wrong.
But you know what? If you're both really competitive and you're a good team, then it'd be all right. You're
Sure.
both competitive.
Yeah,
on
if
the
you're
team.
athletic, competitive, you
Yep.
work well together under pressure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let's go take a look.
Kaikki on samanvärisiä ja varovaisesti altaaseen tekoja.
They have a driver there for safety.
Kato, tekniikka on nyt, että lyöminen on kyllä tuolla päällä, se on vaikea paikka tuo. Ja maalia ei tuu, noin! Ja yhdellä kuivaiheella. Maali sano nyt ja herkeeseen. Ja mennään nyt painuu ensimmäisenä veteen. Ensimmäisenä, tervetuloa joulussa nyt ihalta. Mutta menee suoriutuu. Ihalta. Osaajia, genau.
You know what that reminds me of? First of all, I think this might be Dad's favorite segment, but he won't admit it because it reminds me of Monty Python. It's like a Monty Python skit or an SNL skit.
Yeah, like
But
SNL. Yeah.
but it's real. Like it
Yeah,
looks
it
like a
is.
skit.
How do you go about approaching your spouse and saying, "I want to try this"?
I really want to get into wife carrying.
Yeah.
She'd be like,
Interesting.
what? Wife what?
I think it's just hilarious.
It really is. That's one of the better ones. Wife carrying.
Yeah.
The wife carrying championships.
Yeah. I mean, what's the trophy look like?
Somebody on your back.
Don't tell the in-laws.
All right, next one is number 12, pillow fighting. There's a pillow fight league, and it's a bona fide sport that isn't a game that is played at home between children or couples. We can thank the Canadian entrepreneurs who managed to turn this slumber party pastime into a competitive challenge. This fighting game apparently gets pretty intense and has resulted in lost teeth and even more bad concussions. This makes a lot more sense upon examining the rules. They allow punching and submission hold. The battles look more like UFC than the fun times at home. What are your thoughts about the pillow fighting league?
It's strange. Professional combat sport. It's just,
Right.
First of all, there's a lot more violence than you would think,
There is.
Yeah. Because that seems like a really pretty fun concept. But
If you're losing teeth
teeth.
and getting concussions, then yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Did you see on the bottom left there the little graphic? PFC. It's like a real pro league.
Yeah.
Pillow fighting championships.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it like the UFC of pillow fighting, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of an interesting idea. I guess any kind of battle, people will watch.
Yep.
That's the way it
Yep.
doesn't matter
People are
what the
competitive.
battle. People want to play it and people want to watch it, essentially. Let's go take a look.
And this is another thing where you can use resources already available. You can use a ring for boxing, pillows that anyone has on their bed, and you're good to go.
Yeah. And if you're a competitor, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Round two has begun, and right off the bat, Nunez not wasting any time. She is going inside on Volker and not allowing her to get any sort of momentum at all. And Nunez just
stuck on his shoulder. Now that might have been a technique to kind of slow the pace of Marcus to throw him off, but Marcus is not slowing down. He knows what the stake. $5,000 on the line, less than a minute and a half to go. The finals, these boys are going at it toe to toe, like two bulls going at it.
Fighters come from all backgrounds: boxing, reality TV, the military, even kids. How much do they get paid?
The fighters get $250 just to fight. The winner will get $5,000. The world needs a pillow fight right now, so we're doing it, and here we are.
And now, women's PFC pillow fighting champion. In the red corner, Stella. In the red corner, Holly.
I mean,
Crazy.
I don't know. Can you take it seriously? I don't know.
No.
I
That's a
don't
silly
know.
one.
You take UFC seriously, you take boxing seriously. There's some really great
yeah.
combat sports. I even like watching fencing in the Olympics. I mean, any kind of combat, but
Yeah.
that one's hard to take seriously. I don't know.
I tried fencing, so I like fencing. This is a strange one.
This is a
Pillow
weird
fighting.
one, but there's a little niche for everybody, right? I mean, there's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
people
Oh,
who
yeah.
like to watch it, I guess. I
Sure.
don't know. I don't get that one. I don't think I wouldn't try that or watch it probably.
I mean, I'd try it. It'd be
I
funny.
think it's funny. It's amusing. Reminds me of like Animal House or something.
It reminds me of something that you might see at a Durham Bulls game for like in between inning things.
Yeah. So next one is three-sided football or soccer. Three-sided football is a variation of soccer where three teams compete instead of just two. Danish artist Asger Jorn created the sport in the 1960s, using it to illustrate his idea of trioletics, which is an offshoot of the Marxian concept dialectics, while also baffling us with complex ideas. The game is based on a hexagonal field, as you can see there on the left. Instead of fierce competition, the teams cooperate, deciding among themselves what's allowed. So there's literally no rules. There's no referee. And unlike regular football, the winner is the team that concedes the fewest number of goals, not the one that scores the most. So you have a situation where two teams could potentially gang up on the other one is a possibility. What are your thoughts about this kind of strange breed of soccer?
I think it's interesting there's no referee and there's kind of no rules.
And they said it goes as long as the teams want to play. So it's like there's
Yeah.
no time, no rules, no referee, and you just kind
Really just kind of recreational,
you kind of self-organize. Yeah, but they have championship leagues and everything.
No,
Like they have a
I'm
pro
sure
league,
that's true. I'm just saying, I
pro
think
league in England.
the idea of it is very much recreational.
They said there's 10 pro teams in England right now, and they all have sponsorships. I don't know.
Crazy.
I guess any type of soccer they're going to love. It doesn't matter how you roll it out.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
it's kind of interesting. If you're more of a defensive team, maybe you'd be really good at this. You're really good at passing.
Well, I think it's interesting that two teams can beat up on the third one.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how often that happens, or how often you just kind of stay in your own lane, focus on yourself.
I don't know. Probably a lot. The two lesser teams probably gang up on the champion team.
I could see Ashton and his friends enjoying this. I think they'd like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like young people. And your boys might like it. Who knows?
Maybe.
Let's go check it out. So does it like throw everything in human history on its head, this sport? Because, I mean, if you look back at people pre-BC, they were playing games that was one-on-one, one team on one team. I don't know. Does the human brain work this way? Where you have 3 goals?
It's very strategic. It's kind of like there's no rules. Like it kind of reminds me of what's that TV show where they vote you off the island.
Survivor.
Survivor. I was going to say Amazing Race, but that's not it. It reminds me of Survivor because alliances and you don't know who you can trust. And it just, maybe it's unspoken, but you definitely go for the other weaker guy so that you can take out the stronger guy so that later, I don't know. It's just, it's
Especially if you had one team that had like only 2 goals scored against and the other 2 had 7 each or something, and all of a sudden they realize, oh, we better start pounding those guys because they're winning right now with fewer goals.
Yeah, but I'm sure they know who this really tough team is going in, and they probably know that they're going to pair up with the other team to try and take them out.
Maybe so. I still think it goes against human nature. Now, I will say there are a couple sports where you can see it, like paintball. You know, in paintball, you can have 3 teams, 3-team competitions.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just seems like all of human history has been one-on-one. So it's a strange concept. Wow.
It is.
I kind of like it. I like
That's
the idea
cool.
of it. Yeah. All right. Next one's 14, axe throwing. Popular at lumberjack competitions. Axe throwing is a sport in which players throw an axe at a target, attempting to reach the bullseye. On the target, the outside ring is 1 point, second ring is 2, and the bullseye is 5. In a game which each player is allowed 5 throws and a maximum of 25 points possible. So, you know, this is really fun when we go to, like, you know, the Renaissance Festival or like somewhere else like that, where you just kind of throw for fun. But this seems to be really taking it up another notch when you have an axe throwing championship and you've got pro leagues. So what are your thoughts about this one?
Well, first of all, throwing an axe is kind of difficult. It takes a certain amount of skill for sure. And the idea of this is a lot like darts kind of. So the scoring and the teams, and I think it's cool. I would definitely try it. It's a lot of fun throwing an axe. It's not as easy as it appears.
This would be a lot of fun. I would definitely try this. I would enjoy this. I think anybody who likes darts, anybody who likes bocce, cornhole, cornhole's very similar. Any of those kind of games, I would think you'd also like this. Yeah, billiards.
I agree.
This would be fun. This would be a lot of fun.
I think,
you only get 5 throws. I find that interesting. So you only get 5 total throws, and it's basically you max out your points. And then whoever has the highest score wins. And they probably, I assume they have tournaments where you start, you know, you get first round, then you get quarterfinals, then semifinals, like that.
Finalists, yeah.
Let's go see what this looks like.
Wow, those guys are good. Wow. Levels off the chart.
See, that's a sport I could actually see people would like to watch. I think you could put that on TV. You know, those people who watch bowling, who watch cornhole.
Yeah, who likes the leisure sports. Yeah.
They would watch that.
Yeah, I think so.
You can put that on for an hour and people would watch the axe throwing championship.
I mean, that's really hard what those guys are doing. To put
like
it on a blue dot like that.
Like a sports bar, you and I having an IPA, and that's up there. We'd watch it for a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I would definitely try that. That looks fun. Let's put axe throwing on the list. So let's look at the next one. All right, this next one is coming straight out of Harry Potter. It's Quidditch, which is a fictional game. So the fact that they're actually playing it is just crazy. It's an exciting, dynamic game that's based on the fictional game of Quidditch, popularized in the Harry Potter books. Played by 2 teams consisting of 7 players each. It's designed to mirror the book version of the game as much as possible. The most obvious way it's done is that each player is mounted on a broomstick. and attempts to win the game by having more points than their opponents by the time the golden snitch is caught, which is a version of the game, is a tennis ball on a yellow stick. I'm sorry, on a long yellow sock. Quidditch is one of the world's youngest games, but is one that is growing in popularity all the time. It was created in 2005. Quidditch even has its own governing body, the International Quidditch Association, who are in charge of the sport's rules and regulations. According to the IQA, the sport is now played by over 300 teams in 20 countries. You can see a picture there on the bottom right. We're about to watch the video of them. A lot of universities now have teams, and that's the University of Texas right there on the bottom. And my son Ashton said he actually saw the NC State Quidditch team play. So what are your thoughts about this fictional sport now become reality?
It's fascinating that it was a fictional concept that became a reality. And that it's taking off with young people. I think that's cool. I think this is a really cool part of the story.
Isn't it essentially handball? It's basically handball with a circular goal.
Yeah.
With different rings.
Or basketball with a goal that goes this way or something.
With a broom stuck between your legs.
Yeah.
Which is
That's
kind of
really the strange part, I think.
Yeah. Ashton said he said when he watched it, the kids were pretty athletic actually, but he said they were all pretty nerdy. It was kind of like a nerdy athlete.
I think you have to be excessively obsessed with Harry Potter to
I
go
think
down
you
this
do.
road.
I think you do. Like I don't see a football player switching over to Quidditch or.
Although if his friend convinces him, maybe.
Yeah, it looks kind of fun.
Cool.
I don't know. It looks fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the broomstick between my legs, I probably wouldn't try it because of that.
Yeah.
If I didn't have the broomstick, I would definitely play it because it looks fun.
Without the broomstick, I think it's a cooler thing, but I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. So if I was, maybe I would say be authentic.
Do you think your boys would try it?
Sure. I guess.
Well, let's go take a look.
Let's skate to one song only.
That shit crack.
The broomstick.
That shit crack.
On the beat so twisted, bitch.
What do you think of that, man? It's pretty cool.
It's cool that it was a movie concept. that was invented out of thin air, and then
You know,
now
those
it's a
kids
thing.
are more athletic than I thought they were going to be. They're pretty
Oh
athletic.
yeah, they seem like good athletes.
And you know what's interesting? Okay, it's basically it's handball, it's basketball, because they form outside almost like a 3-point line, and they try to work their way in. So it's handball, basketball. There's a little bit of lacrosse in there. Feels a little bit lacrosse-y. And then what's interesting is you have multiple balls on the field. There was at least 3 balls on the field. So you're having to defend against 3 different balls, 3 different attackers. So I don't know. It's really interesting. Would you try it?
Sure.
Yeah.
It looked fun.
Stick the broom between your legs.
Yeah, I don't quite understand all the rules, but it looked like a fun concept sport.
And I think you make 2 points the center ring, and you make 1 point on the 2 outside ones. So obviously the center ring is where you want to be. I saw a lot of blocks in there. Kind of surprised me. I don't know.
It was a pretty physical game.
I think it looks fun. All right, let's check out the next one. All right, this one is number 16. This is worm charming. It's a competitive sport with the aim of attracting earthworms out of the ground, which when I saw this the first time, I thought this is insane, that these people would spend all day Saturday trying to attract earthworms out of the ground. The competitor to charm the most worms within a set period of time and a set zone of the ground wins. The competitors use many different techniques of tapping and making sounds that reverberate to charm the worms out of the ground. In 2009, Sophie Smith of England, aged 10, set the world record with 567 worms charmed. In the World Championships, teams have 30 minutes to coax as many worms as possible to the surface of a 3 by 3 meter plot of land. So you've got this little plot of land, you have 30 minutes, and you coax as many out of the ground as possible, and that's how you win. What are your thoughts on this, and as you watch some of the highlights of this?
This is a strange one. I don't know what skills that you need to acquire to get good at this, but obviously you'll see the video. A lot has to do with creating like rhythms and reverberation that makes them want to come up. But it's very odd. This is small town stuff that gets, where they try all these little weird things and kind of gets bigger from there, but it's kind of fun.
Well, we told you guys at the beginning of the program, this is going to be strange but cool sports, and this one is definitely in the strange category.
Would I try this? Sure.
Yeah, I would try it. I'd try it. I mean, I don't think I'd be very good at it, but I'm not getting 567 worms in 30 minutes, I don't think, in a big bucket. Let's go take a look at it.
Charming worms in plot number, let me see here now, we have plot number 29 with 11 worms, and we're looking at James Martin. Big round of applause, please.
11 worms.
Well done.
He goes, well done. Well done. You won with 11 worms. It looks like a lot of fun, but I have to wonder if a lot of those, especially the adults who are dressing up as worms and stuff, if they're a little mentally unbalanced.
Yeah, a little touched.
I mean, these are not normal people, I don't think.
No.
The kids are having a lot of fun.
Guy was dressed like a chicken, like he's going to eat the worms or something.
Right. I mean, the kids are having a blast. So I can see how it'd be a really fun family activity. Why wouldn't you want to do that on a Saturday with your kids? That'd be cool. So yeah, I would try it. Looks like fun, but it's a little crazy. The fact that they're getting into it that much. All right, let's take a look at the next one. All right, next one is, and Rob brought this to the table, number 17, hobby horsing. Hobby horsing is a sport with gymnastic elements which uses hobby horses, also known as stick horses. Movement sequences similar to those in a show jumping or dressage competition are partly simulated in obstacle courses without real horses being used. The participants predominantly use self-made hobby horses. In Finland, the country of origin of the sport, an annual world championship is held in addition to regional competitions. There's a movement to get the sport added to the Olympics, which is just absurd. But you can see some pictures of some of the girls there with their hobby horse between their legs, kind of like the Quidditch people. And some of them are pretty physical. There's some actually pretty big barriers they have to get over. Some of the floor exercises you see are there on the right are just silly, I think. I mean, it's ridiculous, but what are your thoughts?
They try to simulate real horseback riding, and I don't know. This is nuts.
What are your thoughts about this? And is there any athleticism to this at all? I think there is on the obstacle.
Yeah, there is athleticism, but I think it's sort of a little girl's fantasy doing this, carrying over into grown girls and grown women. Seems a little strange, but it's cool.
Mm-hmm. When you see the little girls doing it, it doesn't seem as strange. But the older they get, yeah, I think little girls is fine. I mean, that
but seeing a grown-up woman do it with a straight face and she's all focused is odd.
Rob, would you try hobby horsing?
No,
I wouldn't either. No way. You couldn't pay me to do it. Well, let's take a look. That's an interesting one, let me tell you. So why is it that about half these sports feel like they should be on SNL or Monty Python? Like
it feels like there's a mental illness there not being addressed.
On a bunch of these.
I bet if I met one of them, I would think they're amazing, and I'd totally take that back. But
like you look at Bog Snorkeling, okay? You look at, I mean, Quidditch is pretty cool, but this one, wife carrying, it really feels like it should be a Monty Python skit, a lot of these sports.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. I mean, they have those polar plunges. Maybe we'll take that in part 2 when we do part 2 of this exercise. But all right, a couple more and we'll finish out. All right, we got number 18. This is underwater rugby. This is another one of the underwater sports. There's also soccer and basketball. This is essentially a rugby match that takes place under the water in a swimming pool with 2 teams, each team kitted in snorkel gear attempts to score a goal at the bottom of the pool using a weighted ball filled with salt water. The ball must never leave the water and can only physically travel about 2 to 3 meters when passed. And you can't get very physical. You can't really tackle somebody. You can push them, but you can't tackle them. So, that aspect of it's not really like rugby. What are your thoughts about this one?
Well, I mean, I played rugby, so I'm interested in this to an extent. This seems really difficult, but it also seems really cool because I think in the video they talk about how it's 3-dimensional. You can throw the ball upward, sideways, down. That's pretty interesting. And
it's interesting that they made a ball that seems to have fit this game. Like it couldn't fit outside the water, but yeah.
And you add in the holding your breath element. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This one looked pretty cool to me.
I would try this one.
Yeah.
For sure. It'd be fun. You have to lateral, by the way. You always have to pass backwards. So that's interesting. All right, let's take a look.
When I tell my friends I play underwater rugby, they're like, underwater what? There's so many ways to describe underwater rugby. It's like a school of fish or a shark feeding frenzy. The amazing thing about this sport is it's completely 3-dimensional. You can pass up, down, side to side, back and forward. You can spin upside down. You feel like you're flying through space. You take the ball, you take a big breath, you swim underwater like a dolphin, push past people, and you score a goal. My goal is to continue to build this wonderful community of rugby players and particularly break these boundaries that rugby is a violent sport. It's not dangerous at all. And when we have women, men of all ages and all shapes and sizes playing rugby in the one pool, it's incredible. And it's really, really different. So give it a go. We'd love to see you in the pool.
I like how she says in her Australian accent, just give it a go.
She's right that underwater rugby is not super violent, but regular rugby is. So,
it's fun though, right?
Cool, though. I think that would be fun to try.
I think it'd be fun. I don't know about throwing it in the little goal. It feels a little more like hand soccer or something, but instead of like a try, But that's
or
cool.
like frisbee golf or something.
I mean, Australians try to turn everything into rugby. They probably do Arab rugby if they could do it.
Yeah.
Like flying kind of thing. All right, 2 left. Here we go. All right, our number 19 is one of the more bizarre events. This is slap boxing or Thapad Kabadi. And slap Kabadi or Thapad Kabadi is a Pakistani variant of the Kabaddi that we saw earlier in the program, which is particularly popular in Punjab, Pakistan. 2 players aim to slap each other, scoring 1 point for each slap landed on the opponent, and it has to be above the waist. The winner is the one who scores the most points or who can force his opponent to forfeit the match. Punches are not allowed, though players can slam into each other. There's no time limit or limit to the number of slaps that can be executed, though causing an injury to the opponent can result in disqualification. So you can push it, but you can't push it that far. You literally can't hurt the person other than slap them. What are your thoughts about slap boxing?
It's just an unusual take on like boxing,
Yeah. Yeah, and they said it's a variant of Kabaddi, which we saw earlier, was that, go into the other side and tag somebody and try to escape. I guess that's the only way it's a little bit similar, but I don't know. It didn't seem very much like Kabaddi to me. It's more like just boxing. It's slap boxing. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to watch the highlights we're about to watch because they just slap the heck out of each other and they slap and slap and slap. I don't know how they aren't all red and all bruised up.
I don't know. It's crazy. The amount of slapping they do is so crazy.
It's a crazy sport. And there's no time limit. We can be there all day. slapping each other.
Mm.
Oh, this is a weird one, I have to say.
This is a weird one.
This also seems like an SNL skit or Monty Python. Let's take a look. That is a strange one. I don't know.
Yeah.
These combat sports from Asia are just wild.
I know. I mean,
they
there's there's American slap competitions now that just do one slap and then they change. These guys are like slapping each other silly, you know?
Why do you think the chest? It seems like they're hitting each other in the chest a lot. Why the
I
chest?
don't know. Because you can probably show your toughness by taking a lot of hits there.
And they're not easing up either. I mean, they're hitting hard on the chest.
I know.
And face. And they hit each other's face how many times in a match?
I mean,
it doesn't look fun. I don't think I would try that one.
No, that one doesn't look that fun.
That's a no for me, but it's a wild sport, I have to say.
I'm not into that one.
No slap Kabaddi.
I'll watch it though. That's interesting.
It's kind of fun to watch. Yeah. All right, last one. Here we go. All right, so we gave a preview for this one earlier in the program. Rob told you about the NC State champion. She's won it twice, but this is cheese rolling. England has invented fantastic sports such as soccer, cricket, rugby, tennis, and squash. And now you can add cheese rolling to the list. Each year there's a race near Gloucester, England, which sees a 9-pound wheel of double Gloucester cheese rolled down the hill. As you heard a little bit earlier, this cheese sometimes can go as fast as 70 miles per hour. Contestants must then chase after the cheese, with the first person crossing the finish line at the bottom winning. And you guessed it, the prize is the cheese. So this may not sound particularly extreme, but it is very steep and uneven hill. And this ensures that most contestants end up tumbling down at quite some speed. Each year there's many injuries, but it also looks like a great laugh and something that has recently become a world famous event. Due to its popularity, it now takes place spontaneously without any management, and unofficial events are now popping up all over UK and overseas. And you see some pictures there on the left and right of what it looks like when you unleash this crowd of people barreling down the hill and rolling down the hill to try to catch the cheese. So, Robbie, what are your thoughts on this cheese rolling event?
It looks so crazy. The first time I saw it, one of the first videos I watched, they were literally picking people up off the ground at the bottom and taking them straight to the ambulance. And it was just people head over feet just tumbling. And then they'd pop up and be running for a little bit and then keep flipping. It was just so crazy. I don't know
What do you think the injuries are? So they probably have broken collarbones. They probably
neck, back, legs,
twisted ankles, broken legs, broken hands, fingers,
back problems.
Yeah.
Everything. She said, Abby said her face hit the ground so many times.
That's crazy.
You have no control after a while of what's hitting the ground. You're just trying to get down so fast that you end up losing control and you just start flipping.
Her face hit the ground.
A bunch of times.
Wow. So you probably have a concussion too. I mean, realistically.
Concussions, sprains, broken things. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Internal bleeding, maybe.
So would you try this?
No.
No?
No, I think I would get hurt.
I probably would have tried this when I was like
18, when I was younger, maybe
18, 19. Yeah, I wouldn't do it now. When I was in good shape and a teenager, I probably would have given it a go. It's crazy though. Let's go take a look.
Crazy.
Well, a bizarre British tradition full of thrills and spills drew competitors from all over the world to the west of England, and a North Carolina graduate was among them, tumbling down a steep hill, chasing a very unusual prize. CBS's Ian Lee has that story.
For the love of cheese, people risk life and limb, hurling their bodies down a famous hill in England.
And we've got several big fallers right in the middle.
For a 9-pound wheel of double Gloucester cheese.
It's been recorded at 70 miles an hour.
For centuries, these dairy-chasing daredevils have pursued the prize to claim the wheel and bragging rights. This year, 2022 champ Abby Lampe from North Carolina will fight, or rather fall, to reclaim her throne.
What's the secret to getting up the hill?
Fully committing and sending it.
Abby convinced her friend from university, Kimmy Gibbia, to give it the old college try.
Once you're here, it feels a little like when in Rome, you're here, you might as well do it.
There are 6 races with 6 chunks of cheese up for grabs.
Are you worried about getting injured at all?
No, I'm not. I heal fast. I'm only 23.
A bit cocky then.
Or maybe it's a winning attitude, because off the line, Abby tumbles with tenacity in front of a crowd of thousands and a live national audience.
But she's a clear winner if she can just keep it together.
Watching every step slip and fall. And in the end, Abby proves she's the big cheese, retaining her crown.
Returning champion, how does it feel to win a second time?
It feels great. I'm so happy. Yeah.
Here, the taste of victory isn't sweet. It's savory. Ian Lee, CBS News, Gloucestershire, England.
What do you think of Abby, man? She did it. Yeah. You got the Abby shirt on. That's great. That's great. I'm so glad you put that on. Tell us where you found it.
I went, so we looked online. I told my friend about it at work, and he popped up the merchandise for at the Wolfpack Outfitters. And I said, how cool would it be if she had merchandise? And sure enough, he pulled up a shirt. And I said, wow, that's cool. I'm going to run over there. I went in there. Nobody knew where it was and stuff. And somebody went to the back, came out and said, over here. And I went over to they have a design part where you can design your own patterns and type of shirts and designs. So ended up talking to a guy and he said, yeah, he designed this shirt. He met her and she was super nice. And that they were on sale in the back because this was, a little while ago. But it was a big deal on campus. So that was really funny. I enjoyed it. And so I got
Abby,
my shirt.
Want to congratulate Abby for a 2-time winner, being an NC State grad. Rob's on campus there. And we did reach out to her. Rob did. And if she does get back to us and if she wants to do a short interview, we would love to have her on a future episode. We'll bring it to you guys if we can. But anyway, been a lot of fun bringing 20 sports to you guys that are strange and cool at the same time from all around the world. This was Rob's idea. This was part 1. So we really want you to give us feedback. We want you to drop comments down below. Tell us other weird sports around the world you want us to cover in our part 2 that's coming up in a couple months. And just tell us what we should cover. So any final thoughts, Robbie?
It was a lot of fun putting this together. There are a number of sports that we decided not to go with tonight, but there are so many strange sports in this world, competitions, and things that are borderline sports, but then we kind of felt like they weren't. So it was really fun watching the video, taking notes, looking up the way things are played and all the different. We tried to get little different genres, a little bit of water sports, a little bit of, from different parts of the world, different types of sports with balls and without, etc. So, but yeah, give us a comment. Love to hear sports that you enjoyed hearing about, ones that you'd like to hear more about, and or ones that you'd like us to cover next time. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. It's really nice that you followed us through this strange sports journey.
Man, it's been so much fun, Rob, to put this together with you. I've really enjoyed it. And on my list for part 2, I've already got 14 weird sports. So we got a pretty good start on part 2. So you guys look for that in the future. And definitely like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much.
All right. See you.